Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Rhythm.
I have.
We're a couple of white people. We got rhythm.
You're Puerto Rican. You might have something very deep down.
Deep down, yes. I'd have to tap it. I'd have to meditate for a while to find my rhythm. I tried drumming once, and I was literally pulled off the stage. Like they were like, okay, stop, get off.
I gave up. My uncle, who is the Pete Best of Generation X, was teaching me, and I gave up midway through the lesson.
Yeah. It's hard. You got to bang stuff. Like, well, here's the thing is like, I thought I could drum because I was like, that's like, you know, all the jokes are about, there's drummer jokes. They're like blonde jokes. And
that's
so
why I
like,
thought I could drum.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, that's got to be the simplest. And I
thought I would get laid because I thought those jokes were transferable across all genders. They are not.
No, they aren't. They really aren't. It has to be dude drummer. What do you call it? Drummer that broke up with his girlfriend?
What?
Homeless.
I know. I've heard that one, and I still laughed.
Stupid. Hey, welcome to Hypecast, the show where we get hyped about stuff and things. I'm one of the hosts, David Bell.
I'm your guest host, Hana Michels.
Hana, how are you?
I'm doing well. I mean, we're in the same house.
Always.
Yeah.
But how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm having a good day. What about you? Kitten's coming back into your room. I can see it through Zoom.
Oh, kitten. I'm doing well. I mean, yeah, we're doing like a nice little early Hypecast, getting this out of the way. The coffee is zooming through me still.
Same.
I'm not like over caffeinated. I'm like kind of chilled too.
I'm at the Vyvanse sweet spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm energized, but I'm not like twitchy, which is nice. I slept okay. I still had satisfactory dreams, as one does.
You need to set an alarm and stop playing that at like 9 p.m.
What I'm doing is I'm giving myself very tiny tasks. So like last night, I built a pipeline system for my plastics, and that's it. And that's all I did. And it's like...
This game, I've been watching him play it. It seems designed to give peons the very modicum of satisfaction that giant corporations and governments get from stripping the world of all its resources.
Yeah, it's also like it taps into the OCD of everybody a little bit, where it's the bubble popping, bubble wrap popping of games, where it's like I get a bunch of conveyor belts and they go perfectly into this thing, and you have to do a lot of math to like make sure all the machines are exactly processing the materials you're putting in. It's real stupid. But it's right there in the name, satisfactory. It knows what it is.
Yeah.
It's hard, man. Are you still getting those Pokemon? I haven't seen you get those Pokemon lately.
Lately, they put out Balatro for the phone. And I've been playing that instead, even though I was playing it on Steam Deck. What I don't understand is in poker, I understand why you can't have a full flush as a hand, but in Balatro, you can have a full flush. So why aren't we getting the full flush?
In poker?
In Balatro.
Oh, I see.
Because in Balatro, you can change the suits of your cards.
They're not making that that's not a thing. Well, they're just doing the poker hands, right?
Yeah, but I feel like
here's the thing.
That should be a special Balatro hand, full flush.
I kind of agree, but they have to do the work, because the thing about poker hands and the points with them is you have to determine. So poker hands are based off of the rarity, right? Like the more rare ones are the bigger points.
And the rarity of being able to change all your cards to one suit in order to have a full flush in Balatro is going to be hard to calculate.
Exactly. That's what I was wondering. Like a full house flush, it'd be tough. It seems like it'd be tough.
They'd also have to create a new planet card for it, and all the planets, like they included Pluto. Like they're out of solar system.
Planets. Yeah, they included the sham planet. So yeah.
I am so sorry that we got on this. If you don't play Balatro, this is extremely boring. Full flush.
Yeah, play Balatro though. Hana, do you want to at the start of this? First of all, thank you so much, obviously, for being on. Always a delight. Do you want to?
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Do you want to plug some stuff?
So it's not out yet. I am creating kind of an artist's way for writers specifically. It's not going to teach you how to write for a specific format. For example, it's not going to teach you how to write a screenplay. It's not going to teach you how to write a novel. It's not going to tell you how to get that thing sold, because there are plenty of books about both of those things. What there isn't a book about is how to deal with the mental pitfalls of writing. How to deal with, like, just pushing through it when you're not feeling it, accepting that your first draft is going to be garbage, accepting criticism, knowing when you're on the right track with what you want to communicate with your project, things like that. That's what I'm writing, and it'll probably be self-published. If you want to be a beta tester for it, hit me up. It'll be probably ready for that around maybe January. So yeah. Also, my socials are at HANAMICHELS. Yeah.
That sounds
there
cool.
We go.
Yeah, that sounds like...
I'm excited for it.
It sounds intense. I mean, you're right that, like, the mental side of creating it's tough because it's such a... I don't know. It changes person to person, so it's hard to cover it comprehensively. So that's going to be interesting.
It really is. And I think part of what I'm going to have to do is find a universal way to at least cue people up to get their ego out of writing, or at least separate their identity from their work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a daunting task, but
you're up
you
for
know
it.
what?
You can do it.
Yeah, at least knowing that those are the tasks involved in having a finished project is important.
Yeah. You know what else is important?
What?
Our patron producers.
Fuck yeah.
I segued. And so I want to thank some very special people. Starting with at Nerd Numbers. Thank you very much. Thank you to Zero Charisma. Thank you to 2001 A Space McNulty Odyssey. Space McNulty Odyssey. Thank you to A Turd Curdling Jump Scare. Thank you to Aaron Burser. Thank you to AJ. Thank you to Andrew. Hana deserves more hype, McGuire. Thank you to Andrew. How demands a single act of kindness.
Thank you to Asking Seven.
Thank you.
Thank you to Ballet Karate Hulk.
Thank you.
Thank you to BLT22EWHVIS-B exclamation point.
Thank you.
Thank you to Bootler Boodleson.
Thank you.
Thank you to Brian, who Tom knows.
It's true.
Thank you to Brockway Loves the Meat Millie.
Also true.
Thank you to Burrito Says, Water, Gym, Sunscreen, Kung Fu, Ska, Self-Care.
Thank you.
All good advice. Thank you to Chester's Profit.
Thank you very much. I didn't step on your plug, did I? No, I didn't. You said your socials.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you didn't. And anyway, my plug is something that's like going to be in forever. So who cares?
You're going to be plugging it for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of plugging things, we're going to talk about Babygirl.
Hot.
Yeah. This is the director of Bodies, which I enjoyed. It is a sexy thriller with Nicole Kidman. She plays a sexy CEO who starts having sex with a sexy intern, right? And I don't know if he's an intern or what,
but he's clearly younger.
Yeah, and he's lower on the ladder, obviously. Like he's like, she's the CEO of this big company, and he's like entry level.
It's kind of a push-pull in power dynamics between sexism in the corporate world and the corporate ladder.
Yeah, it's also what 50 Shades of Grey should have been. And what I mean by that is basically I don't care about the actual genders, but like she's the CEO and the sub, it sounds like. Like she wants him to tell her what to do.
Yes.
And that's what 50 Shades of Grey did not do.
Yeah, and I feel like that's more true to life as well. I mean, it's not, it's kind of a stereotype. It's not always true. But it is somewhat true that people in power tend to like to let go and let that down in their sex life and vice versa.
Yeah, and this seems like it's going to get dangerous. He shows up at her house. Like, I'm starting to get... Nicole Kidman, I'm so happy that she has been in sexy thrillers since the 80s. And and she's just continuing on. And she's in, like, there is a sexy thriller with her in it in every decade. And I hope she continues doing it until the day she dies.
Seems like she loves it. So, yeah.
It's her passion. It really seems like her passion. And the thriller aspect seems like he might be compromising her a little bit. Like, there's the vibe that, like, again, he shows up at her house, and it's like, and he's using it as like blackmail, where he's like, I'm dumbing you because I could ruin your career, is what he's doing.
Yeah, potentially.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how realistic that is.
If they videotape anything, it's pretty realistic.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's also the fact that she's a lady, like a lady in power. Because I was like, I don't know. I feel like we've gotten things about powerful dude. Like we have Elon Musk's horse bribery, and it's like that's not slowing him down. So I don't know.
I feel like it's easier to take down women or have women be a scapegoat for a larger problem in the corporate world. But, I don't know. What I do know is that there's a thumb in the mouth.
There's a thumb in the mouth.
Because you pointed that out.
Yeah.
And that's your dream, and I'm happy for you.
Yeah, this is like, if you don't join our movie nights, you might not know about my quest for a movie where someone pops their thumb in somebody's mouth. We've only gotten it in one film.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be sexual.
No, it doesn't have to be sexual. In fact, the only film we got in was Blind Fury. And so I don't know, there's a thumb in this mouth, so maybe we'll watch it on a movie night. It seems vaguely inappropriate, but it's fine, man. We've watched inappropriate things. But yeah, good old sexy thriller. I am surprised the Bodies director, I think they've only done Bodies, Body, which was a very fun movie. It's you've seen it, right?
I've seen parts of it.
Okay. Without spoiling it, it's one of those premises that it's like, oh, of course. It's wild that no one thought of this. I felt like dumb for not thinking of the premise. And I'm really excited to see what this director keeps doing, because this is such a wildly different genre. And I don't know. I'm super curious about what their career holds. So, let's talk about Nosferatu. We covered this trailer once, or the teaser. This is the full trailer, and we're getting a little more. Is that it's Johnny Depp's daughter, and she's like bewitched by Vampire Man. And
Sweet.
town is, I don't know. That's what seems to be in the trailer, right?
Yeah, it is what seems to be in the trailer. The younger guy, what's his name?
Nicholas Hoult. He's juror number 2
Hoult.
in later. Yeah.
Wasn't he just in a vampire movie?
Yeah, he was in Renfield. He has vampire servant face. Which
he does.
Everybody says he looks like Tom, so that means Tom has vampire servant face too. I'm sorry, Tom.
I don't think so, because I think the ways in which he looks like Tom are not the ways in which he looks like vampire servant.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that. He's been around.
Tom's head is just bigger.
Tom's head is bigger than Nicholas Hoult's?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that the small head is what makes him look like a vampire servant.
Oh, okay. Okay, so for the record, you're saying Nicholas Hoult has tiny head.
Not tiny, just small. I mean, Tom's really tall. They're
Petite
probably
head.
proportional. They're probably both proportional.
Okay.
I'm not trying to insult anybody.
I'm not trying to put you on blast.
Although, okay, Willem Dafoe is in this, and I did hear a rumor on TikTok that about his having a very, very large appendage, and I would like to fact check that if anyone can.
I mean, our producers will fact check that for you later.
I would
if
like
you
that.
recall. I will tell you the actual story if you'd like.
Yes, please.
The story
we could do this off.
No, we'll talk about it
okay.
because again, we've talked about it before on Hypecast.
Oh, okay.
When he was shooting the movie Antichrist with Lars von Trier, there's a shot of full penetration in that movie. I didn't know if you know that about Antichrist.
No.
And the rumor is Lars von Trier brought in a stunt penis for Willem Dafoe because he described Lars von Trier, the guy who makes nothing but fucked up movies, described Willem Dafoe's penis as, quote, confusingly large. So, like, it was too large to put on camera, unless it's an IMAX. In order, like, he thought it would, like, confuse in a movie Antichrist, which, if you've seen that movie, is a very upsetting movie. He was
I gathered by the Lars von Trier, yeah.
Yeah, he was like, that penis is too upsetting for this film. So maybe it'll show up in this. Maybe it'll play the vampire, maybe. His penis. This feels very much like The Witch. It does need a lot
of blood.
Yeah, that's true.
It does, in that the monster is not...
It's a lot of blood.
The monster, it's how people deal with the monster.
That's what it seems like. It seems like Nosferatu, who is played by Skarsgård, who we all know are vampires. Bill Skarsgård. It looks like they're doing like a bunch of the story, like the boat stuff, and but like, yeah, it really seems like it's about the town kind of like going nuts over this vampire and the lore, and he's just sort of omnipresent throughout,
Yeah, I'm into that. I'm into. I mean, I love how Robert Eggers really gets into human dynamics when we are stressed and when we are kind of at our breaking point, when we hit that fight or flight or freeze.
Yep. Or when we're at a lighthouse. We gotta watch. Or
when we're in a
again.
lighthouse.
Yeah. I'm so fucking excited for this. It's coming out Christmas. We'll be seeing this on Christmas. This will be our Christmas treat.
One time I told a client, and thankfully they recognized it as a joke and didn't do it, but they were worried about having to tell their family that they quit their job over the holidays and what they're doing now. So I told them to say, have you ever seen The Lighthouse? Basically, my new job, I'm Willem Dafoe in The Lighthouse. Thank God they didn't do that.
I mean, then you'd have
I was just trying
The
to make them
Lighthouse
laugh.
with your family. That's the problem with that.
Yeah, that is a problem.
Yeah. Let's talk about Maria. This is Angelina Jolie. If you're confused, it's about the world's greatest opera singer who...
Okay.
Fucked if I know who that is. During her final days in Paris in the 1970s. So that's Angelina Jolie. It's Angelina Jolie going for an Oscar.
Yeah, you just told me more than the trailer did.
Yeah. She wants an Oscar. And like, I don't know, has she gotten an Oscar yet? She should have an Oscar by now. She's had an Oscar, I think.
I feel like something like Girl Interrupted might have given her.
I think it was actually The Changeling of all things.
Really?
Yeah. This is from the writer of Serenity, the Matthew McConaughey movie, which makes me excited. I don't think it'll be similar to that movie. But this is like the director who made Jackie, he made Spencer, which are all, he's just making these lady biopics. He's churning them out, which is fine.
Yeah.
That seems like it'd get boring, but...
Yeah, we have a backlog of ladies who could have had biopics.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, biopics in general are, I don't think, either of our thing.
Yeah,
unless we are obsessed with I don't think it's anyone's thing unless they already love the person. That's
what it is that like the biopic genre, there are people there are directors who who churn them out. Band biopics, these kind of political biopics. And I'm like, how do I don't know. They feel like they're just essays. You're just doing essays over and over again. But this is one where like I like the trailer here. It looks like it's going to be really good. And I just don't care about opera.
It's so short. It doesn't really tell you much.
Right.
I aesthetically it looked cool. I couldn't say much.
Yeah, I mean, I like trailers that don't tell you much. Knowing this was about an opera singer,
knowing it's a
enough,
biopic,
you know?
I'm happy that the trailer is in fact short.
Yeah.
That actually makes me feel a lot better about the fact that the trailer tells me nothing.
Well, I think the bit in the trailer is that it's about the most famous opera singer, and we don't see her sing in the trailer.
Yeah.
And I think Angelina Jolie actually learned to sing for this. I think. Again,
wow.
I'm pretty sure we're going for an Oscar here.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. She had 7 months of vocal training for this. So that's kind of nuts. Learning to sing opera is kind of a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, you can major in it.
Yeah.
So I would assume it's not easy.
No. Yeah, I think I don't know. I think this is probably going to be a really good movie.
You can do an MBA in it.
Yeah. No, it's to me this is like sports movies where it's like it's a really good movie about something that I just don't care about. And that's not really the movie's fault.
It's just not for us.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe
and
I'll
that's
see
fine. If it's for you, that's awesome.
Yeah, if it gets a lot of nominations, I'll probably see it because then I'll feel obligated to.
Your job.
You know what I am curious about is this next one, Emilia Perez.
Yeah.
This is. I don't like much like the last trailer. This doesn't say much.
No,
I want to watch it.
But the thematic elements make it really compelling. I also would love for someone to explain to me the connotations of the first few lines where someone asks, "Are you English?" And the main character is like, "No." "Oh, because you're really pretty." What does that mean?
Yeah.
Is that like, and are you rich? Is that like... Is that about colonialism? Is that about like internalized? What is that about? I want to know.
It might.
I'm really curious.
So this trailer is fairly disjointed, where you don't like. I had to look it up.
Yeah,
it's about a lawyer who's
really
who's helping the cartel. I think a cartel boss. And so, but what's amazing about this trailer is that it just seems like kind of like a sexy crime thing. And then like halfway through it says, "Oh, by the way, we're a musical." And you're like, "Fucking what?" And it's already sold me at that point. Like it already had sold me. And then it was like, "And we're a musical."
Fuck yes.
Yeah. I don't want to. Also, it's Zoe Saldana. So that's cool. And Selena Gomez is there. She's somebody, right?
She's somebody. Yeah. She has recently pivoted to acting.
Oh. Good for her.
She was one of those like Disney children who sang, and she pivoted to acting. She did a Gosling, and it seemed much like Gosling, the right move for her.
You got to do a Gosling.
Yeah, I mean, she's doing well, and yeah,
good for her. I hope she gets them all.
I don't know if she was actually a Disney person or not. She just was. That was her peer group.
She was in Hannah Montana, so.
Oh, okay.
She started in Barney and Spy Kids 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She's a child actress.
That's an entire childhood. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucked up. Yeah. I mean, this looks it's hard to describe. It just looks really fucking good. I don't want to credit. It looks
really cool.
Yeah. I don't want to credit Joker for this because obviously other things. But that new Joker movie is it's a secret musical. Which it's getting bad audience reviews for that reason. A lot of like bro dudes, I don't think like it. Like,
well, I'm gonna say too bad because I'll tell you what, musicals are a great way to communicate the stakes of a story across language barriers that isn't just CG action. It feels like we're done with just doing CG action to try to get a global audience, and I am fucking thrilled about that.
Yeah, it's also like I just like the concept of like
of a gritty music.
Yeah,
yes.
gritty crime musical and stuff like that.
Yes, me too. I think musicals are in our culture, and not in any other culture. I don't think. I think it's a uniquely American thing to paint them as very clean and theater kiddie and clean cut, and that does not have to be the case whatsoever.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I don't know. This looks. I don't know. It looks really fucking weird.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to see it. It's hard because there's not much to say about it because the trailer doesn't show you much. Speaking of Oscar season, Juror 2. This is we got Renfield again. We got Nicholas Hoult. And this is such a. So you put produced by Clint Eastwood. It's directed by Clint Eastwood. In fact.
Worse. Okay.
It's well, he directs stuff. He's a good director. He just doesn't always make good stories because of who he is.
No, I'm more concerned about what stories he's picking.
But he does. So he goes back.
That's
and forth.
why I said in the document, why do I think this is going to be a dog whistle?
Yeah. He goes back and forth, but this is definitely one where I'm like, because like $1 Million Baby or like Mystic River, they aren't particularly political.
No.
But then American Sniper and fucking Gran Torino, where you're like, this is, I don't know. But this is such a funny premise. This is such a movie premise, and I love it. It's about a juror on a high-profile murder trial who realizes that he committed the murder accidentally. Yeah. Which is such a funny thing to have to be like a serious premise. Like that feels like a Pauly Shore movie to me.
Yes.
It's a reverse. It's a good. I hope it's a tie-in with The Judge. Like I hope it's a like
you and The Judge.
I hope it's in the Judge cinematic universe because he's the juror and that was the judge. But the judge also hit someone with his car. That's also what the judge did.
It is.
But the idea is Nicholas Hoult hit something with his car, thought it was a deer, and then like years later is at the juror of the trial of a guy who apparently. So this is the part where I'm like, did the medical examiner see car accident damage and think he did this to his girlfriend? Because the idea is it's a guy on trial for murdering his girlfriend, who Nicholas Hoult realizes he actually hit her with his car and she flew into a ditch, I think. And it is
that's what it seemed like, yeah.
It is weird because the guy on trial doesn't seem like a good guy. So like it's like this terrible guy was framed for murdering his girlfriend because Nicholas Hoult hit her. It's a very my point is this is a very stupid story and I can't fucking wait to watch it.
Yeah, and the fact that he seems like a bad guy actually makes me more hopeful for this not being a dog whistle.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be kind of a complicated. I think he's going for honestly like just a thriller. Like this gave me thriller vibes. It's not particularly smart, I would say. Because again, I'm imagining the medical examiner on the scene like, there's some broken headlights embedded in her head. Must be her boyfriend.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're assuming the boyfriend hit her with a car?
Maybe.
Because he has car damage? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Unrelated
maybe the idea,
car damage?
Yeah, the idea is that he also like drove drunk and hit something, and I don't know.
I don't know. It's fine. We will find out someday.
We're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch this together.
We live together. I have no choice.
You have no choice. You're gonna watch this courtroom thriller with me.
I'm really relieved I like courtroom dramas because you can't live with Dave if you don't like courtroom dramas.
No, it's part of the package. It's part of the package.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. J.K. Simmons is there in this. It's like it's a perfect film for me. I don't know what else to say. It's exactly the type of film that I watch.
Batshit premise courtroom drama. Yeah, that sounds like a Dave film.
Yeah, very serious about something that seems kind of silly and dumb. It's got Kiefer Sutherland in it, which feels like that's a requirement for dad films to some extent.
Yeah. You might have to cover this on Inside Dads.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Toni Collette is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's made just for me. Should we talk
Sounds
about
like it.
Getaway?
Let's do it.
This is a Nick Frost film about his family going to what looks like the fucking Wicker Man Island.
Yeah, the way they pronounce it, I think it might be a stand-in for Svalbard or something.
Yeah. It's like Shaun of the Dead. It's a comedy. It's older Nick Frost. He's daddy Nick Frost, which I'm like, oh, that's kind of fun. Like, it's kind of fun to see Nick Frost as an older, the fact that he is older helps as like an older character doing comedy, as opposed to like stoner friend. He wrote it. And I don't know if he's written what he's written, but it
seems like it seemed to me like it could be a parody of like the, broadly Jordan Peele films or socially conscious horror that has been kind of popular lately, which is a really delicate tightrope. It's really hard that would be really hard to parody, but it would be delightful if he pulled it off.
Yeah, the director...
If he were successful.
That would be. The director and Nick Frost are making two things together right now. This and something called Crazy House. And Crazy House, by all accounts, is one of those films I've almost considered on more hype. It's Nick Frost and Alicia Silverstone, and they're trapped in a sitcom, and it turns out to be really dark. The problem is that's just too many cooks. It's just too many cooks, but as a feature film, and it has not gotten good reviews. So I'm just curious, because this, out of the two films, this seems like the more compelling one, because this one feels like a fully realized and fun story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the premise is just that there's a serial killer on this island that they're at. But yeah, it looks, I don't know, there's some sort of cult
maybe
shit.
the title Getaway and the fact that they start the trailer talking about like...
I don't know if it's going to be...
Talking about like oppressive history of Europe kind of led me astray there in terms of...
Yeah, it's either a parody or it is just that thing.
Or, yeah, and it could... Yeah, and it could be that's I identified the red herring. I don't know. I'm sorry if I did that.
No, I mean you're probably right. Like, again, it's either an elevated horror or it's a parody of elevated horror, right? And so like I can't quite tell what he's going for. Like, it's listed simply as horror, but it's obviously a horror comedy,
Yeah.
But I think there might just be legit horror elements in it as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. It also might be just weird. Like, we've hit that genre, the genre where it's like, it's just weird, where it's, you could call it a horror, you could call it a comedy, but it's also just fucking weird. And so.
Yeah. I'm glad we've hit that again.
Yeah.
We needed that. We needed desperately to do that.
100%. We got a TV show. We got a TV show on this. Before it's Billy Crystal playing a child psychiatrist who I'm almost certain killed his wife. And the trailer seems to want us to think that, for the record.
It does. Yeah.
And that is, I'm realizing, like, he did analyze this, so he's been a therapist. And this is, for the record, this is like a horror series. This isn't
This is not a comedy.
This is not a comedy. It's Billy Crystal doing drama horror is what it feels like. And yeah, he does look like he would have killed his wife. Like, he's got that wife murderer vibe.
He does. And it kind of seems like it's playing on the idea of like long-term child therapists letting their quote-unquote ego and legacy take over instead of their desire to help. Maybe that's what I wanted to see.
No, I think that's
we can analyze that, but it does seem like that.
It does seem like
which
that,
is
though.
fertile
You're right.
ground. Which is fertile ground. It is something that creatively I feel like we should have explored a bit ago.
Yeah, because I don't know, we have played this game with the idea of like an oldie, What About Bob? Like, the therapist who doesn't have his own life together. And the idea here is he's a child therapist and he meets this spooky child he's got spooky syndrome.
Yeah, spooky child syndrome.
Yeah, he draws pictures, he's generally spooky. And the kid seems to know something about his past. And as the trailer at least wants you to think, Because the idea is that his wife committed suicide, but as the trailer wants you to think, perhaps she didn't.
Yeah. And I'm excited for... I do enjoy when an actor realizes that they haven't been funny in a bit.
Yeah.
And pivots.
Yeah. Billy Crystal, has he not
thrillers.
been funny in a bit?
That's just a personal opinion. I mean,
okay.
you know what? I haven't seen some recent projects, so I could be wrong.
I haven't seen him doing stuff in a very long time. But again, that's just because.
Yeah, I think the pivot from comedy to thriller is a good pivot because it's all about holding tension.
Yes. Oh yeah, it's very easy for comedians to do this pivot. It's kind of like, I'm sure if we look back, Billy Crystal probably did do other serious roles. It's sort of like when Bill Murray did the serious pivot. Like, I was thinking about Razor's Edge, a serious movie he did in the 80s, where it's like, yeah, he did that one, he gave it a shot, and then he went back to comedy. So I assume, like, maybe in the 80s there's like a serious thing that Billy Crystal did, or maybe there's something that I'm not even remembering that's
very
obvious.
Possible.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. This looks compelling. I have Apple TV. We could be watching so many Apple TV shows. And
we just aren't.
Yeah, it's just never.
Well, we never connected it in the bedroom.
Yeah, we'll do that. Let's do that. Because it's like, I never think to click on Apple TV. I just never think to look.
Yeah.
And it seems to be filled with really good, like, sci-fi.
Yeah, it seems like there's some cool stuff in there.
Yeah. All right, final trailer. Companion. This has got what's his name in it? It's got the fucking nephew of Randy Quaid. That's how we all know him. Jack Quaid. It's got Jack Quaid in him.
Everyone's someone's relative.
Yeah. Well, Jack Quaid's been around. You haven't watched The Boys. He's in The Boys.
Oh no, I know.
He plays a good. He knows this. He has nice guy who's actually bad face, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that is just his face. Is like, I'm a nice guy, but not really. And so I get that vibe from this. I have no idea what it's about. You can't even find it. It seems to be that it's Jack Quaid with some lady who seems like she's supernatural or not, like, real. I don't know.
Her styling is very 60s, and the rest of the film is not. But I don't know if that means anything at all. I mean, peasant tops are back, so
yeah, she just seems like. So there are
parts of the trailer where she does seem supernatural.
He lights her on fire.
Yeah,
and she just sits there, and with her arm on fire. And so, like, there's some sort of vibe of, like, it's him and this lady. They're having, like, a nice dinner, and then we see shots of, like, her handcuffed to a bed, someone robbing a safe, someone getting stabbed in the neck, partying, like, random violence, him pointing a gun at her, someone getting, like, killed in a road, and then it ends with her with her arm out, and he puts a candle under her hand and lights her hand on fire. But she does look, like, pained by it.
She does look like she's in pain, yes.
But that's, like, such a huge offer to light someone's arm on fire that I'm like, there's got to be, it feels like there's something about her, and it's called Companion.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I wonder if she's, like, a companion robot or something weird like that.
Yeah, very possible. I enjoyed the cop getting punched out at some point in this trailer.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah.
This looks like, I don't know. I'm just, it's designed to be obtuse purposefully, so I would be excited about it, and it had achieved that goal.
Yeah, it did for me too.
Yeah, I'm liking weird horror movies being like, we're just going to give you a taste and you're not going to have any fucking idea. The director of this has mostly done, like, he's done, like, Tenacious D videos and hasn't really done anything like, I shouldn't say anything of note, but has done a lot of, like, comedy and TV stuff. So that's interesting. Yeah, I have to note that the trailer says from the creator of Barbarian, which I don't know if you've been watching a lot of horror trailers lately, but every horror trailer says that. Every single one. Because Barbarian was the big underground hit. You saw it.
Yeah.
And so, like, because it was clearly very indie, it was, I believe, produced by 30 people, is the vibe I'm getting. And then those 30 people went on to produce other things, and they all get to say from the creator of Barbarian, even though the actual director of Barbarian is still working on something. So unless it's a film called Weapons, which is his next actual film, if you see from the creator of Barbarian, it's just probably one of the random producers, I'm guessing, at this point, because he wrote and directed that one. That's Zach Krieger, by the way. But yeah, they just, I don't know, the studios right now fucking love saying from the creator of Barbarian. It's on every fucking trailer. Again, and I think it's because Barbarian represents plot twist.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 producers of Barbarian. I looked it up. Yeah. And that's why.
That'll do it.
And I'm not saying they aren't making good movies, like there's been plenty of good movies out there.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't help but notice that that's now a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Do you want to thank some more producers?
Let's do it.
All right. Big old sloppy thank you to Christopher Robert Sparts Esquire. Thank you very much. Thank you to Dan Hackroyd. Thank you to David Ruff. Thank you to David Knife Boot Henson. Thank you to Deborah is awesome. Barbara is great and cancer can go to hell. Thank you.
Go to hell.
Thank you to Dracula the bus driving vampire.
Vroom.
Thank you to Driftless Argento presents Dawn of the Drift. Nice. Thank you to Exploding Runes. You gotta do a sound effect. No sound effect that time? All right. Thank you to Funky Jim.
I did when it was quiet.
Oh, okay. Thank you to Funky Jim mostly comes out at night. Mostly.
I don't know how to do a xenomorph.
That's fair. Do a hiss. Thank you to Heathcliff's Helping Handfuls.
Well, that one's a hiss.
Oh, yeah. Thank you to Highlander likes the way Tom says pretty sweet.
Pretty sweet. I can't do Tom.
No, you can't do Tom. It's all right.
Thank you to Ombre, the last assistant manager of the last Hollywood video in the wasteland.
Thank you.
Thank you to Impossible Worlds. We have your Swaim and we'll release him at the cost of your subscription.
Thank you.
Thank you to Lieutenant Frank Drebin, Police Squad.
Thank you.
Thank you to Look Mom on a podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mackenzie Fuck Shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick. Chill.
There it is.
Callback.
Yep.
Thank you to Mercurial Oz.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mike the Lurker.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mongolian Throat Skanking.
Thank you.
Thank you to musical guest Rob Ritchie.
Thank you.
Thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Thank you. All right, we got movie news. Daniel Day-Lewis is back, folks. He retired like 7 years ago with Phantom Thread, and we love Daniel Day's acting. Everybody loves his acting. He's Lincoln. He's There Will Be Blood, Mr. Method Actor.
That's why a comic I know, Jessica Singer, she had a TikTok where she's talking about his comeback, and she's like, I hope this time he plays a really sweet guy who's just very kind to his coworkers.
Yeah. Because I know, like, There Will Be Blood, he seemed like a maniac. Although I never heard anything bad about him with the kid. It's like, I feel like he has limitations, but there are so many
he's
stories.
Not Jared Leto.
Yeah, there's so many stories of like I think he got in a fight with his. There's a story of him when he filmed My Left Foot. His agent walked off the set because he played in My Left Foot. He plays a man who's paralyzed except for his foot, I believe, and he can't talk well. And the agent on set was just like, just fucking talk, man. Like, we're just trying to get this meeting done. All right, I'm out of here. Fuck this. Like, that's the story I heard. I always picture his poor wife, where it's like, hey, Lincoln, it's dinner time, all right? Like, just fucking be normal for dinner. I don't want to have dinner with Lincoln tonight. I swear to Christ. But yeah, he's doing a movie with his son that his son wrote. He wrote with his son and his son directed.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's so. I guess his son was basically like, I know you're in retirement, but just do this fucking movie. And he's like, all right, fine. Yeah, there were rumors at first because people just saw him like people saw him like shooting with Sean Bean, and they're like, well, he's like, or like riding around a moped with Sean Bean or something. And it's like, they could just be buddies. They could just be going somewhere. But no, we're getting his next movie.
Cool.
Yeah. Are you excited for Daniel Day-Lewis's comeback?
I don't know yet.
What's your favorite Daniel Day-Lewis movie?
I don't know if I have one.
Yeah, I know. I figured. Have you seen a Daniel Day-Lewis movie?
Yes.
Which movie?
I've seen Lincoln.
All right. That's something.
And maybe others. I'm not good with faces. I'm sorry.
Have you seen There Will Be Blood?
Oh, I haven't. That's one of those that's like on that list.
Going after you because I
know. I know.
Gangs of New York. Have you seen Gangs of New York?
That one I wasn't that interested in, to be completely honest.
Have you seen In the Name of the Father? Have you seen My Left Foot?
No.
All right. We'll have a Daniel Day-Lewis night. It'll be great. Have you seen Last of the Mohicans?
No.
All right. I like this game.
Look, I wasn't allowed TV as a child, and it's impossible to catch up from that vantage point.
Have you seen The Age of Innocence?
No.
Okay. All right. I think of those, There Will Be Blood is the only one that you'd legitimately enjoy.
That's why it's on my list. Yeah.
Yeah. They're making a RoboCop series that's coming to Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why. It's produced by James Wan. I mean, you could make a good RoboCop, I guess.
You could.
It hasn't been great so far. There has been I'm reading this. There has been 4 TV series attempts at RoboCop. Because if you forget, like, RoboCop had the Beetlejuice Ghostbuster effect, which was was an adult movie that then they just made for kids.
Yes.
So I'm guessing one of them was like a cartoon, maybe more of them. But yeah, the best modern thing of RoboCop, and I know you love RoboCop. You're a huge RoboCop fan. Is the RoboCop video game. The RoboCop video game was legit. It did the aesthetic of RoboCop and sort of the tone of RoboCop being a dystopian film.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've really only done the one good one. Like, I like RoboCop 2 and 3. What's your favorite RoboCop?
I've only seen one. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I didn't really feel the need to see a sequel.
That's kind of the only one you need to see, because the others, again, the first one's like an actual satire, and then it just becomes like just RoboCop as like, he just becomes kind of like the whole, he becomes a superhero. Like they try to, and which is a very funny thing to do to RoboCop, because RoboCop is supposed to kind of suck.
Yes.
Like, he's not a good robot, and he's not a good cop.
That's kind of the point.
Yeah. So a RoboCop series, I feel like this is why they never take off, because like they keep trying to be like, yeah, it's like what is he gonna do? A new case? It's just like, that's not what RoboCop is. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Reno 911 worked.
Yeah.
I don't know how this is going to be approached.
I mean, now that you mentioned Reno 911, that's how I want it to be approached. RoboCop comedy.
Yeah.
With what's his name? Thomas Lennon playing RoboCop. I mean, why not? But I do not think that's what it's going to be.
No, me neither.
I also don't know, like, is it like a mini series? Because like RoboCop to me is also like, It's just that he was never supposed to be sustainable as a character. It's sort of like the character Two-Face in Batman. I've talked about this, which is like he's a man with half his face burnt who goes on a rampage. That's not a man who lives long. And that's why in like the Christopher Nolan, they kind of do that. They make him not a man who lives long. He's a rampage. And RoboCop feels like that to me, like a character who's like, they make him and then he lasts like maybe a year until he like falls apart or explodes, or like he's sort of a tragic tale of this. He's Frankenstein, you know? So I don't know. It's always been weird to me that RoboCop has been like a character that he like has to return a bunch. Speaking of TV shows.
And speaking of stuff that has to return a bunch, even though it really doesn't.
Yeah. So we're getting more info on the Harry Potter series coming to HBO. I guess there's some stuff that was like a lawsuit around this. The logo is now released. Can you guess what it looks like?
No.
It looks like a Harry Potter logo.
Okay.
It looks just the same. Like imagine the movie logo.
Oh yeah. That's it. I just clicked back on the article. Yes.
Yeah.
It's got shinier. It's shinier.
Yeah. It's just the same fucking logo. Yeah, I guess it's going to be a book a season. How many books are there?
7.
7. So there you go. 7 seasons. I don't like to be spiteful, but I kind of just don't want this to work out. Like, I know, like, it's mean to say, because, like, I don't like rooting against art or rooting against, a series.
Yeah. And all the other people involved in this who have nothing to do with J.K. Rowling.
Yes. But not just, it's a beautiful marriage of J.K. Rowling and David Zasloff.
And unnecessary reboots, and the fact that everything has to be tied to an existing property.
Right, and so like I want this to fail for a few reasons.
Yeah.
I want it to fail because I want it to not be okay to support J.K. Rowling. I don't want J.K. Rowling to get more money.
Yeah.
I also want David Zasloff to get more of a reason to maybe stop running Warner Brothers.
Yes.
And I also want generally the industry to be told, you have to stop with this shit. Harry Potter just happened. The last Fantastic Beast was a few years ago. We're
done.
Yeah, we're done. Stop rebooting things over and over. Like, if you want to do like Rings of Power, right? Like that's the Lord of the Rings show. If you want to do like an additional show or something like that, or if you want to remake something from 40 years ago, it's like, okay, so be it. You know, I still don't love it.
But at least like, Rings of Power is based on a series of books we haven't done yet.
Yes. Like try to harness the success of Harry Potter. Not literally do it again. But I just can't be 60 and just there being just, it's nothing but Star Wars and Harry Potter and Marvel still.
No.
Like I just can't handle that. This like loop.
No.
I feel like I'm going crazy. Like it's a time loop. I feel like I'm in a time loop.
And Gen Z has no connection to this.
No.
Why would they give a shit?
No, that's the thing. I don't know who this is for. Because I think Harry Potter, I think everybody else has moved on. It's Warner Bros. So here's what really happened with Harry Potter is that, and we've talked about this on Hypecast before. If people remember, if people were old enough, we got some trilogies in the early 2000s. We got the Lord of the Rings, we got the Spider-Mans, and that was sort of people realizing like, okay, trilogies are back or they're working, you know, or they never left because like the Matrix also did really well. And so we were in the age of like, okay, we can do trilogies. And then Harry Potter rolled out and something completely new happened because, and this was also the Pirates of the Caribbean area.
Yes.
So what studios sort of had was these properties that they're like, we can make 3 and then we got to find something new. And then Harry Potter was like, what if we made like 10? And it worked so well. And it was because
there are 7 books.
Exactly. Because it was based off of books that were already there that had a fan base, and the author we did not know was a terrible person.
Yeah.
And so after that, that plus Marvel studios have been like, well, why not us? Why can't? And the thing is that Warner Brothers also had The Matrix, and did they have pirates?
I don't know.
It's all to say that the 2000s, the mid 2000s, Warner Brothers was on top of the world.
I think Disney always had pirates.
Yes. Oh, they had you know what it was? They also had Nolan's Batman. So
Right.
Nolan's Batman sort of ended Warner Brothers like time on top, and then they came out with the DC universe and they just failed. And they've been sort of on tilt. And Zaslav has been doing this weird penny pinching where he's doing tax write-offs, and they've just kind of fallen apart, had this weird fall from grace, and they're trying to chase that Harry Potter dragon. Like that was the thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm sorry, guys. I think it's over. I guess we'll see.
I guess so.
I hope it's over.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. I just can't do these wizard children anymore.
No.
And
No,
people
we're
are
done.
finding more and more inconsistencies. Did you see? I saw a TikTok where someone was like going through the math of the Harry Potter universe, and like nothing adds up. Like that, like it's stuff where it's like the Tri-Wizard tournament. They say is like every 4 years, and they've done like like 600 of them, and they're like they do the math, and they're like the first one would happen in like 800 BC or something like that. Like she did terrible world building. Like she did not do a good job at actual world building, it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people were kids when they read it, and now they're adults going back and being like, you know.
Yeah, it's fine. It was fine.
Critical.
It's called Harry Potter. Like, I don't know. I always say this about Star Wars, where it's like, it's called Star Wars. It's the dumbest premise ever.
Yes.
And it works. I'm not saying it's bad. It's fun. But that's like, then when they're like, we're going to make 1 million of these. And it's like, I don't think it was ever made to sustain this.
Yeah. No.
It's just, It's over. It's fine. It's fine.
Yep.
Let's thank some more producers. You want to thank some
Let's
more
do it.
producers? Okay, big old sloppiest thank you. The sloppiest thank you to Numino Ultra Microscopic Soil Gulf Volcano Coniosis and its establishment Terranism Jones. I slurred that one, but thank you.
Thank you for having that one, picking that one.
Mm-hmm. They get to pre-order Jason Parchin's new book so you can keep making big feats. Thank you. They get a Psychic Bigfoot. They get a Pumpkin Spiced Eggnog. They get a Rev MD. They get a Ricky Cilantro. Thank you to Robert. They get a Rosemary's Baby from Eraserhead. Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid. They get a Sorry Cop, world's most laughable centrist. They get a Steven. Thank you to the conveniently placed self-destruct button on the top of every baby's head. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Midnight Spookum who spookums at what spookums at midnight.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Municipal Medicinal Arsonist.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Oatmeal Savage.
Thank you.
Thank you to the To Be Terror Bunny thinks you could use more Rucker Hauer in your media diet.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to these 7 Bs.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tiger Drawers Pratt Thompson sing Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tip Drizzle.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tom's Baby.
Thank you, Tom's Baby.
Thank you to Tux.
Thank you.
Thank you to Vincent.
Thank you.
Thank you to Yorgos from the island of Creta.
Thank you.
Crete.
I mean, I think yours is better.
I watch a dog rescue guy from Crete.
Oh, and that's how you're supposed to say it?
That's how he says it. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to say it.
I think that's cool. No one says it that way. That was special.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
Yes, that guy is special. Thank you to your mom.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hana?
Yes,
Can I tell you about a movie that deserves more hype?
please do.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Cody, who's in the doc.
Yeah, hi, Cody.
Sorry, it's just very funny. Sorry, we have a Hypecast at Google Doc, And Cody was the guest last week or a week before, and he has not left the Google Doc, which means that somewhere on his computer
he has returned. No, he just returned.
Somehow Cody has returned. Oh, that's amazing. I don't know why he's in there, but he is. I want to tell you about Dead Talents Society.
Yes, this looks cool.
It is. It's so out of Taiwan. Clearly Dead Poet Society. The name is a parody of that, which is such a funny thing to parody. This might be huge. It came out in theaters in Taiwan, and I imagine it's like not necessarily huge, but well known there. But for us in the States, it hasn't come out yet. I assume it'll be out on streaming soon enough. It looks real fucking weird. It's sort of it's Beetlejuice. But like, so I'll just tell you the premise. So it's from the director of a movie called Detention, which I've heard good things about. It is a parody of J-horror. So the idea is it's the afterlife, and ghosts are having to compete to be who's the scariest ghost. So like, you know how the Ring ghost is like, her whole thing is she wants attention. Like that's the point. You pass on the tape. So it's that idea of like, or The Grudge, where it's like J-horror, the ghosts always want to propagate themselves. They always want to spread.
Yeah.
And so it's the idea of like behind the scenes, and it's like ghost talent agency, and like there's a rookie ghost who's working on her haunting, and they all have like a shtick is the idea. All the ghosts have a shtick, and she doesn't have one, and she's trying to find her thing. And the penalty is basically you need to receive your license to haunt, or else you'll disappear forever. And so it's just a really clear metaphor for like hustle culture and like celebrity culture, right? It's just people who even in death they have to like compete to be the person. And it sort of feels like a Logan Paul type of analogy too, where it's like it's who can be the worst. Like,
who can get the most attention being horrible.
Yeah. Who can get the most negative attention. And so like it's clearly about that idea, but as the reviews say, it obviously is about that, but it's more a parody of J-horror than anything else, or East Asian horror cinema, they put it, because this is out of Taiwan. So it just seems like a general, like, we're going to have fun with J-horror and East Asian horror and do like a Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And it looks fucking zany.
Yeah.
What'd you think of this?
Oh, I'm excited for this. I'm really excited to see how this, whether it leans more comedy or more horror or what. I've always found the ghosts in East Asian horror to be more compelling.
Yeah.
No, I'm really excited for this.
That's where I get I love a good ghost story, and like I love like Victorian ghost shit. But it's few and far in between here. And so like I think J-horror was kind of great because it was like a new type of creepy ghost, you know? This, from what I've read at least, because it has like nothing but good reviews so far, is that it is both a successful comedy and a successful horror.
That's rare.
That is very rare. That is
a really hard tightrope to walk. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, apparently like, because you do see what the ghosts do from the perspective of the people every now and then. And it's like what they are genuinely scary ghosts, but then like there's a lot of fun gags, and it's apparently very gory. There's a lot of gore humor. Like I guess what her thing, the shtick that she's trying to do is to appear in front of cars and get the cars to like swerve off the road, but they keep hitting her instead and like dragging her body or something. So like it seems like it's going to be very fun, very funny, probably very silly, more physical comedy. I'm hoping that, because like the thing about comedy is it doesn't transcend culture that well, which is why usually the things that blow up here that are foreign are
slapstick
like,
does though.
That's what I was going to say, are like Roberto Benigni. That's why Roberto Benigni blew up here, because he does slapstick. Or Kung Fu Hustle. because that's another slapstick, right? And I'm wondering if this is going to be kind of like a Kung Fu Hustle for horror, where it's like it's going to be silly, more slapsticky, and then horror. And that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. People check this out. It's called Dead Talents Society, out of Taiwan. The trailer is available. If you're in Taiwan, I guess go see it. Go see it. But otherwise, hopefully it'll be on streaming soon. I don't know.
Sweet.
Check it out.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one.
Me too. And that's an episode. We did it. We did Hypecast.
We did Hypecast.
We did it so good. And Cody's here. He's still in the dock. Should I write hi Cody? I'm gonna write hi Cody.
Yeah, you should.
I'm gonna write hi Cody in the dock. There he is. He's haunting the dock. Hana, at the end of all things, do you want to plug your shit again?
Sure. I'll just plug my socials at HANAMICHELS everywhere. And Dave, anything to plug?
I guess just this. Go check out our Patreon, patreon.com/gamefully unemployed, GAMEFULLY unemployed. We have exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and Spiel Boys. We also watch movies every Friday night with our patrons and our pals, such as Hana. You are often there.
I am.
Yeah. It's just a nice little get-together, a nice little Friday check-in, and you can join us. You can watch movies with us. You can also go to gamefullyunemployed.com and get access to our merch store there. And I think that's all of the things. That's all of the things.
Sweet.
All right. I guess say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Hey, listen, our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can find him on twitter.com as The Corlew, or go to shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is produced by Michael Vincent Bramley. For more of his work, go to mvbramley.art. Our episode artwork is by Justin Brown, available on Twitter as Justin T. Brown or at artnessbyjustinbrown.com. And finally, additional artwork is by Starlene Hodge. You can find her work at starlenearts.com or on Twitter as StarleneX. Cool. Goodbye.